How's everybody doing? Good. All right, so what sports do you all play? All right, I'll go through the list. Football, you're obvious, you don't have to put your hand up. Anybody else on the football team? All right, basketball, soccer, cross country, my favorite sport, track and field. Wow, you gotta be kidding me. Two. All right, so what do you all play? Volleyball. All right, how many volleyball people? Cheerleader. That's a sport. I'll take that. Dance. All right. Tennis. Yeah, no good. Sorry, I can't help you on that. I absolutely suck at tennis. How many of you all have heard the term arrogant or cocky? Probably everybody. All right, so keep your hands up since you've heard of that. How many of you all have been referred to as either arrogant or cocky? It's okay. So what I'm here to talk to you all about, all right, so then everybody also knows the term faith, right? All right, so how many of you all have dreams? Like literally, every night or every so often you have dreams. How many of you all actually have dreams that become a reality? Some people call them premonitions, some people say it's deja vu, whatever the case may be. How many of you all actually have that happen? So to me, I'm a firm believer that for me as an individual, God talks to me in my dreams. I've had dreams before where I see things and then it happens in real life. A lot of times now when I compete, I actually wait until I have a dream to even figure out what I'm going to pack and what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to put on. Last year, I had a dream that I was going to wear a certain outfit when we were at our first televised event. And from each round, I was going to change outfits, and I did that. And then I got to the second round, I put an outfit on, and I was like, ah, man, I don't like the way this looks. Went back and changed into an outfit that I wasn't going to wear, and I ended up losing. Sounds strange, right? Come back, I wore that same outfit at the next tournament the next week, and I won. Some people say that's a coincidence, right? So a big thing that you have to understand is now we're going to talk about faith. So dreams, faith, and also being cocky or arrogant. So as an athlete, you get told quite a bit there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, right? All right, so I'll ask a lady. I'll go with you. What is your difference between the two?
I think when you're like, I'm better, I guess, and then arrogance when you're like.
Well, what if you actually are better?
Then you like rub it in people's faces.
Okay, so we will all agree when you rub it in people's faces, that's when it becomes more arrogant and cocky than just confident, right? Okay, nothing wrong with that. I can agree with you on that. But what about the word conviction? How many of you all understand that one? And I don't mean like convicted to a point where you got, the silver bracelets on and you're behind bars, but conviction in your belief. How many of you all have conviction in your belief of God? I'll ask you that question. One person? That's it? Everybody else is just walking around aimlessly?
I don't really know what conviction means.
Okay, good. I like you. What's your name?
Brian?
Brian. I like Brian. Brian's cool. All right, so conviction. All right, everybody knows what it is to be convicted of a crime. We see it on TV all the time, right? Proof without any shadow of doubt, within reason that this person did this. Whether it be they shot somebody, they killed somebody, they ran a light, whatever the case may be. The same thing, you have to have that same belief in God. You have to have absolute conviction. You all understand what faith is, right? So conviction and faith actually go hand in hand. How many of you all have lost faith? It's okay, everybody does it. It's not a bad thing. How many of you all actually have faith? Start with that. Everybody in this room should raise their hand because everybody had faith that they were coming to school this morning. Some people don't make it to school. Some people die or get in car accidents or whatever happens that deters them from their belief. So faith and conviction go hand in hand. And all of you all as athletes, I believe if you think that you're good, then you have conviction, at least in your skills. So this guy here filming, that's one of my friends, and the guy in the white shirt back there, that's Tony, another one of my friends. They've been around me for about 6 or 7 years, and I've been called arrogant, I've been called cocky. And when I talk to kids, one of the major things I want to tell them is, you can't allow someone else to put their labels and their titles on you when you actually personalize it and you take it inside. I'm actually the opposite. I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. If you actually look at some of my clips on TV, people think I'm this real wild, out there yelling, screaming person. Half the time when I'm around them, I don't say anything. I only speak when I have something to say. When we talk about conviction, I am a person who believes in my ability because, since all of you all are athletes, I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock. I go for a run for about an hour. Gym opens up at 5, I'm in the gym at 5:15. I live till about 6:30. I go back and I eat. I go back and do another thing of cardio about 8:45, 9 o'clock. If I told all of you all as athletes to make it, you'd have to put in 12 to 16 hours a day. How many of you all would want to do it? It's a whole lot easier just to get a regular day job, trust me. How many of you all ever get on the treadmill? How boring is the treadmill? It's like the most boring thing ever. I'm on the treadmill for 4 hours every day. And for one reason and one reason only. Because when I first started it, it was the most boring thing I could think of, but I wanted to challenge myself mentally. I wanted to see if I could overcome the boredom. I wanted to see if I could put a challenge out there and put myself to a point where I could overcome that. So does that mean that I am better than the rest of my competitors at what I do? Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it. Does it mean that I'm a better person than they are? Does my life have more value than theirs? No. Not in the least bit. But if I'm the world champion, then I should be better. I remember somebody asked me when I won a month ago, how's it feel to win the world title? I told them I knew what was going to happen. I said, oh, that's arrogant, that's cocky. I saw it. So for us, World Championships is a week-long event. It's over the course of 7 days. After the first day of hitting, I had a dream that I won. When you're walking up to this podium where we hit, the stage where we hit, you have to walk through this tunnel. And you see all these posters of past champions. And every time I walk through, I envision the poster of me standing there, holding that championship belt with championship rings and all this other stuff. And I saw that every day. I saw that in my sleep. I saw from round to round what I was going to wear. I saw what was going to happen as far as what my competitors were going to do. I saw what happened where I was going to be sitting when the guy hit his last ball out of bounds. Does that make me arrogant by saying that? Does that make me cocky? No. But I had a belief in God, and I had conviction in what he showed me to know that that was going to happen. Now, along the way, did I lose faith? Yeah, I did. The first day we got on TV, I went up against a guy, hit the ball, didn't hit the ball, that was great. And I remember the whole time that I'm sitting there and I'm watching him hit, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. He hit a ball mathematically that should have beat the brakes off me. I had 382 yards. He hit the ball, I looked at the numbers, I just looked at the stands, I was like, you got to be kidding me. His ball got about 380 yards and fell straight out of the sky. Made absolutely no sense. When it hit the ground, jumped backwards, never rolled forward. I won the match. Everybody came over to me and was like, oh, congrats, congrats, you made it to the next level. And for me, that was probably the saddest moment I ever had in my career. How many of you all have won and actually lost at the same time? That day I lost more than anything because I lost my faith. To lose your faith is probably the hardest loss you'll ever take. It's not like losing the championship game. You see people cry. It's not like losing the boyfriend or losing the girlfriend or losing the parent. But to lose your faith. So when everybody left after I did the interview, I sat on a range for 3 hours till they turned the lights off. Sat with my clubs and just talked to God for 3 hours. Boo-hoo cried for 3 hours because I felt like I let God down. God put me in a position he showed me and I still didn't believe. All of you all have that same thing. God's showing you all that you all have purpose, that you have a bigger meaning, that you can be bigger and better than the situation that you're currently in. But it's on you to believe it. They always talk about walking by faith and not by sight, and most of us do it by sight. We always look for little things to let us know, hey, you're on the right path, or hey, you can do it, hey, you can make it. At the end of the day, if God's already told you, you don't need to see anything else. You don't need your friends to tell you. You don't need Instagram to tell you. You don't need Snapchat to tell you. You don't need any of that stuff. So after I went through that whole scenario, I came in the next day with a whole nother attitude. And my attitude was, it wasn't going to matter if it was by 7 inches or 7 yards. Whatever ball I put up, God said it was going to be enough. Because he told me 4 days before that it was going to be enough. He showed me exactly what I was going to wear, and it was going to be enough. He showed me that the guy who I was going to go up against in the final round was going to hit his last ball out of bounds, and that I needed to be sitting on the stool. And that's exactly how it happened. If you watch it on TV, I had somebody send me a clip just a couple of days ago. I was talking to my mom as the guy was hitting his last 2 balls, and I looked at it, and I just kept telling her to believe. Because I had already known it was going to happen. It was going to play out. We were just sitting there wasting time almost. Just waiting on whatever God had put out there to just come to where everybody else can see it. So there's nothing wrong with having such a conviction in God and such a conviction in your faith and your ability to where you seem arrogant and cocky by some standards. You have to remember as an individual, Jesus wasn't soft. He wasn't afraid to go out there and say what he felt and what he knew and have conviction in that. Now, it's another thing to rub it in someone else's face. Yes, he never did that, and neither should you all. But you should not be shy of your faith and your ability to make other people feel comfortable. So don't ever be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of yourself. Don't be ashamed of your calling. Because each and every one of you all have a big, big purpose in this world. And if you don't take responsibility for that, if you don't take ownership in that, you'll never reach it. And if you're too busy trying to live to other people's expectations, then you'll never truly understand your calling. And you'll never truly live up to your potential. Be sensitive and think about other people's feelings and emotions and how it will affect them, but never, ever downplay yourself in that process. That makes sense? And outside of that, have a lot of fun. Train hard, enjoy school, have fun, all that other good stuff. But it works. And I mean, over time, you'll start to get it. You'll understand it. But for me, that was probably the biggest part of winning, I guess. And even still to this day, does it feel great that I won? I don't know. I don't know if it feels great that I won or if it feels even better to know that I had such a connection with God through the course of that week to see that I was able to live through whatever he had shown me. And then you'll be the judge on what your wins and your losses are. Cool? Any questions about me as an individual or anything I've done? Yes, ma'am.
My dad's a big golfer, and I'm just wondering, did you get the opportunity to share your faith, you know, at a bigger platform here than here?
In front of about 25 million people on national TV.
Awesome, awesome.
So yeah, it happened. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have dreams about losing? And like, what do you do if you do?
You know, I've never had a dream about losing, but losses do take place. And I guess, what do I do when I lose?
Like, do you try to change it? Or like, if, I guess if you had a dream, I guess it's just
No, because you know the biggest part of winning is actually losing. I mean, if you win a match or you win a game, 9 times out of 10, how many of you all actually win and then go back and dissect your film or dissect your plays? When you lose, you're upset, so you're trying to figure it out. You go and you train hard. You're like, man, what did I do wrong? And you go back and you look at film and you try to go through your thought process. Most times when people win, they get complacent. They're happy. And you should celebrate the win. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you should nitpick your wins. But for me, I'm more grateful when I lose than when I win. Because I know my loss is God building me up for something so much bigger and so much better. And that doesn't necessarily mean on the field. It could just be in life. Because sometimes you lose on the field. When I was in high school, my football team just absolutely sucked. We were terrible. But I learned how to lose. So that made me a gracious winner. And I had 2 years of absolute just terror because we lost all the time. But when I looked at it later on, when I got to college, I was like, man, now I can appreciate winning more. And sometimes a lot of things that you see happening in front of you, you won't understand them. I mean, you have to understand God's plan is so much further than your vision. And if you can keep yourself in that mindset, you'll start to understand that I don't understand exactly what's going on right now. This is tough, whatever I'm going through right now. But later on, it will all make sense. And you have to make sure that you hang in there. Sometimes you'll get depressed. Sometimes you'll get frustrated. Sometimes it's just absolutely aggravating. And that's a human feeling. And you should actually embrace those feelings. But those are the times when, instead of getting all hyped up when you win or when you get something and then everybody's like, oh, I want to praise God, thank God, thank God. Learn to praise and thank God when things are going bad. That's the most adult thing I can tell you. It doesn't make much sense now, but it will later. Any other questions? Nope, all good. Well, I hope you all have a good day, good seasons. Enjoy your training and everything else. Thank you for your time.